Welcome to Collector Guys. Happy Halloween. Behind me is the most insane Halloween decoration you're probably ever going to see. This has been a Halloween tradition in this neighborhood in Austin for over 20 years. And on the other side of this, I found out that the artist owner of this has a very spooky collection that you're going to want to see. So let's go check out the haunted house and see what that collection is all about. But man, this is a labor of love right here. Got your spider web. And if you know your Universal and your classic horror movies, you will recognize a lot of this. We've got a little turn here. And here we go. Looks like Frankenstein monster, mad scientist, young Frankenstein, regular Frankenstein. Wow. This thing just goes on. And this is all built on his front yard. Tony, how you doing?
Hey, Steve.
What you got going out in front of this house? That is pretty incredible. Yeah. That is very, very incredible. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you got going on in your studio here.
Yeah, there you go.
We're out here in your studio.
Yep.
You're a working artist.
Yep.
And you have this thing full of really cool monster toys. Now, tell us a little bit about this collection that you got going on out here.
Oh gosh, since I was a kid, I was into the Universal, horror classics. Just something about the Universal monsters. There's a sense of theater about them. There's a good acting, Boris Karloff, and the sympathy of the monsters. Frankenstein. I definitely connected with that. The Collectibles is a bit of nostalgia. It connects me to my childhood. And this started, I had this one guy since I was a kid, since I was about 7. And I had it on my drawing table, and my ex-wife saw it, and she's like, why do you have that? I was like, yeah, I told her, it connects me to my childhood.
Is that a Mego? Or?
Yeah, very
nice.
Good. Yeah. She saw that, and just, that Christmas, I got a couple, collectibles as Christmas presents, and that birthday, and then it started being this goof thing. And then I started illustrating for different horror movie people. I started actually doing posters for horror cons.
Okay.
Doing classic horror movie posters.
Sure. As
an adult. And at horror cons, people would give you things, or at the end of it, it was the great time to get a deal. Everybody's packing stuff up. So yeah, it just built and built and built, and people would empty their attics, and I finally had to tell people, stop giving me these things. But yeah, I remember myself as a kid. I remember the magic that I felt. I remember the excitement, that sense of primal fear, and how you have to overcome it and then learn to enjoy it. And
nice.
Yeah, that's a great part of growing up.
This is mostly, if not all, Universal monsters here. What is, and they're all classic, what is your all-time favorite?
Favorite monster or favorite collectible?
Favorite Universal monster, we'll say.
Oh, Universal monster Dracula. He was always, and then close second was Frankenstein. But they were buddies.
Okay, there you go. What are some of the highlights of this monster toy collection?
I think with different people, it's different preferences. Some people will go for the most expensive. For me, I would go for the most personal, the things that mean something to me.
Sure.
The Mego monsters, that and the Frankenstein, and the whole collection of these guys up there.
There were accessories that went with the Megos that were like
no,
that, or did you make your own?
I definitely made my own, but the Remcos had a mini monster play case, and that was awesome because you could open it up and it had all the stuff there. So a lot of the things I created out of cardboard looked a lot like this.
Wow.
Another thing that I treasure.
Now, since we're standing over here by these things, now I don't remember these. Our photographer Ryan does remember these. What are these animatronic?
These are Motion-ettes. I believe from the early '80s, though. Early into the mid '80s. Some this was quite popular, so they made a lot of them. But some of them were so scary that they had to stop making them. I have a devil that I have in storage right now that was just, it's so horrifying. It looked, it's like Satan incarnate, and its whole face is glowing, and it's just sadistic. So and the mummy, there's just a horrific looking version of the mummy, terrifying. So they only made a small amount. So those are some of the more expensive ones, some of the rarer ones. The Phantom of the Opera is hard to find. This guy is hard to find. But yeah, the Motion-ettes are the first thing that I really wanted as an adult. Like I had my dolls from my childhood, and I rebought those, just the Frankenstein and Dracula, just because, or the Frankenstein and the werewolf, just because Dracula needed friends. And then of course I had to get the mini play case because I remember that.
Nice.
And then it was just all these. Somebody had given me this one, and then I was just fascinated by it, the sounds, the movement.
So how about we take a look at some of the rest of the stuff you have around your studio here.
Sounds great.
So Tony, what are these really little figures over here?
These are Universal Monsters cake toppers from France. Really detailed.
Little cake toppers.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on in this wall here? I see a very sought after Universal Monsters vintage lunchbox here. I collect lunchboxes, so this is really cool. So what do you got going on here?
Just some of the models. The Rebels were very popular. The Illuminators that you were talking about, you as a kid, those glow-in-the-dark models. Anything in this section is basically the group of the Universal Monsters together, like collections I had of specific ones. And then on the other wall is all individual Universal Monsters, so they all get their own little section and wall.
Sure.
And these are some of my favorite, the glow-in-the-dark action figures. Very detailed.
Oh, wow. Still in the packaging.
Yeah, some of the packaging is disintegrating. I got cookie jars.
Yeah, let me see the cookie jars here.
Universal Monster cookie jars. I was just telling you that I haven't broken this yet after all these years. No, wow. I got it filled with snake skins.
Oh, man.
From the snakes that I have over there.
So where did you find these?
Oh, this started as a gift. Somebody I was dating found them and sent them to me as a gift. And
so if
porcelain or...
So you're not a hard guy to get a gift for because everyone knows what you like.
Exactly. Universal Monsters.
Wow. That is
great detail.
That is really neat.
Yeah, I think they got them from the Universal Studios. And Monster Balls. Yeah, these are... the mummy is interesting.
Huh.
It's a water squirter.
Now, that went on to a... Oh, you squeezed it and it came out its eye?
Right. But these are the old vintage ones.
Okay.
Yeah, the water soakers. There's a Dracula as well.
Have you been to Universal Studios lately? Do they still sell stuff like this?
I have no idea. Back in the day, the Universal Monsters were very popular.
Well, we got another wall and another batch of Universal horror movie toys and whatnot. Tony, explain what's going on over here.
Well, anytime I have loose pieces for some of the Universal Monsters, they all get a section of this wall. Like this is Frankenstein. Actually, he's I guess the most popular because he has an entire shelf to himself. Mummy's on top there, and then a creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, and Dracula. Yeah, a little bit of everything. You got Dracula, rubber ducks, and crystal balls, and
this looks like. Is this
another
like a
one
smaller
of the
version?
Smaller version of the Motion-ettes.
This over here?
And the same thing with this one.
Okay.
And then several of the Draculas over in that corner.
Just goes and goes and goes. And you say you have stuff in crates too somewhere. Bins,
somewhere.
What
undisclosed location.
What was the criteria for going into the bin?
I wanted to keep things here that were personal to me, things that friends gave me, and then of course anything Universal Monsters. For years people have given me every other type of, you know, gremlin stuff and slasher stuff, and or I would pick them up myself. Like you meet the guy who played Michael Myers, and
Yeah.
you have a ski mask, you're gonna get
Sure.
or hockey mask, you're gonna get it autographed. So stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to keep it just the vintage stuff, because it just, again, connects me to that sense of magic, that sense of artistic growth that I had as a kid.
Thank you very much for showing us your collection.
Sure.
This is pretty incredible, and it's a good example of the nostalgia and how it touches your heart, and how it makes you feel happy when you see it. And I can still tell this stuff really makes you happy to have it around.
Absolutely, and inspires me too.
Good.
Not just for doing art, but the haunted house that I do. I mean,
Yes.
half that haunted house the creativity wouldn't be there without the Universal.
So you are a working artist. Is there any place we can see your artwork?
Yeah, actually, there's the West Austin Studio Tour coming up, November 9th and 10th. The whole house and the haunted house will be open still. And then there'll be a tour through the whole backyard and all that, the Asian garden and all the artwork back there. So yeah, if you want to see any of the very diverse types of work that I do, check me out on the West Austin Studio Tours, 302 Skyview.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah.